Well, we have to get started here. Welcome, everyone. Glad to see you
Yay!
here. I'm Bill Habedank, Executive Director of Veterans for Peace, Chapter 115. And I see a lot of familiar faces here today, and some new ones too. That's good. There'll be more people showing up during the day, but we got to get it going. First of all, I want to acknowledge that we are standing on Dakota land. And I want to read a little recitation that I found the other day. It says, "We invite you to consider the land on which you live and the confluence of legacies that bring you to stand where you are, particularly through critical reflection and conversation." So I want to thank everybody who's been a part of this program, the speakers, the musicians, Bill McGrath for his sound system, and everyone who helped today. This is our 21st edition of our Peacestock event. 21 years of doing this every year. We even struggled through the COVID years and did online events, so we're glad to be back in person here. And we're hoping to keep the sun away. We had a little shade here, but I hope it doesn't get too hot. It's supposed to be 77 degrees today, so that'll be tolerable, I think. But sit wherever you feel comfortable. We're supposed to have two food trucks here today. One's parked way up in the top of the hill here. We're trying to get him to move down a little closer. And we're going to have another food truck here, I hope. And the porta potties are way in the back, up on top of the hill on both sides of the hill. So
Don't.
And
Dave.
if you get thirsty, we have cold bottled water over by the reception table. And we also have snack bars if you get a little hungry, you need a little sugar, so help yourself to them too. And hope you have registered at the table. And when you do register, we're having a drawing for 2 books. There's a new book by Norman Solomon called War Made Invisible. We're giving away 2 books. So enter the drawing, and at the end of the program, we'll be drawing for that. You'll have to be present to win.
Yeah, see,
So, also I should mention that we're selling books too. You can, for a donation of $20, you can purchase a book more or less. So, and the book price on the cover is $27.95, so you're getting a deal. Anyway, and of course, I want to mention that Chapter 115 is not only the organization sponsoring this, but we do this in cooperation with Chapter 27 up in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. So we thank them too for their help over the years. And we have a lot of VFPers from around the area. We even have Mike Ferner here from Toledo, Ohio. He's the new Executive Director of Veterans for Peace. I know we have veterans from Iowa, Wisconsin. Yeah, and where is everybody from? If you want to shout out where you're from, or anyway, they're around. They're out there. Okay. Right now it's customary to begin our programs with something we call bell ringing for peace. And I'm going to call upon Dave Loxon, the president of Chapter 27 Minneapolis, call him up to explain what that is all about. And the bell ringers to come up forward too.
Well, thank you, Bill, for that wonderful introduction. It's okay. You got to lay it out real thick later. Oh, okay, good. So, yeah, thank you all for coming out on this real hot, muggy day. Come on, joke. I mean, I leave a little pause in there for the laughter that throws me off the rhythm if you don't laugh. So, oh well. Anyway, when we do the bell ring is not a laughing matter. It's very serious. In 2008, not 2019, which is battlefields of France, this brutal trench warfare was being fought for years, and millions of people died, and millions more died because of the Spanish flu, which is inappropriately named, of course. But anyway, that warfare was just awful. People would just be sent to their death, basically, because the technology had grown, and machine guns were now in the hands of the combatants. So, and we're fighting more at the turn of the century model of warfare, where you just charge ahead, and the machine guns would just pull these guys down. So it was awful. It was terrible. So on the 11th month, in the 11th hour of that year, 2018, they got together in the morning and said, "Hey, this is going to be it." They signed the truce. So at 11 a.m., no more fighting. No more fighting. And so up until that 11 a.m., there were still officers, especially American officers, who were sending people over to get killed, basically. And they know that the armistice was going to happen at 11. Because a lot of these officers wanted to get their battle medals. So the way to do that was to have people in your unit going and dying for the country, right? So at 11 a.m., the silence on the battlefield it was just silence. And veterans that were there said it was the last time that God spoke clearly to mankind that peace was possible, and a silence of peace. And like all soldiers longed for, the day all soldiers longed for, they laid their weapons down and went home. And that beautiful moment, that moment of silence where peace was, everybody was so damn sick of war and the killing, and it affected so many people. Bells were rung all over the world. I mean, people were buying bells. They were just any bell you could find, and they rang bells, and the bells were rung in jubilation and happiness, but with a strong underlining of bittersweetness, because so many people were affected by this, families and the actual soldiers, and people injured, and the moral injury that came from all that killing and that. So on the 11th month and the 11th day, at the 11th hour, bells were rung for peace. Thank you.
Thank you, bell ringers. And also, before our event, we read our BMP mission statement so everybody knows who we are or what we do. Okay, we got Dave and Mike. Oh, okay.
Oh, what?
Okay, we're ready. Okay, we as military veterans do hereby affirm our greater responsibility to serve the cause of world peace. To this end, we will work with others, both nationally and internationally, to increase public awareness of the cause of war, to restrain our governments from intervening overtly and covertly in the internal affairs of other nations, to resist racism and repression in our home communities, to oppose the militarization of law enforcement, to end the arms race, and to reduce and eventually eliminate nuclear weapons, to seek justice for veterans and victims of war, to abolish war as an instrument of national policy. To achieve these goals, members of Veterans for Peace pledge to use nonviolent means to maintain an organization that is both democratic and open, with the understanding that all members are trusted to act in the best interests of the group for the larger purpose of world peace. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on with our program. I just want to mention that it does cost us a fair amount of money to put on this event, so even though it's free, we still ask for donations if you can afford that. So we have donation barrels over there, so thank you for any funds you can give us.